So another thing that irks me to the core of my bones is when people say don't play hard to, oh no, sorry, play hard to get.
Oh, oh,
And
oh,
I'm like,
oh, oh, oh.
okay, wait on a minute. We need to take this apart a minute. First of all, the whole concept of because this is playing games to me, the whole concept of ignoring calls or taking a while to answer them or pretending to be busy and you can't go out on a date, that's just ridiculous. That's opening the gate for games.
I
And that's like also, I mean, if you don't have any plans and you want to go out, then just go out. I mean, what's the big deal? Like, he's not going to think you're desperate because you don't have plans on a certain night. And if he does think you're desperate for that, then that's the least of your worries because he's not the right person probably. But I feel like you're just gonna miss out on. You might miss out on a great person. Same with again my boyfriend. He asked me out on I think it was a Sunday night, and he was like, we were chatting for a couple of days, and then he was like, "Hey, if you want, maybe tonight we can do something." And I'm like, I could have said, "Oh, I have plans because I want to seem cool because I don't want to seem desperate." But I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And he
yeah,
was like, and it ended up being amazing. It was fun, and I'm like, you could miss out. And then he could have, if I said no and whatever, it could have sort of it sort of could have faded, or we could have like not found a different time after that to meet up. So it's like if you have the opportunity and it's last minute, then what's the big deal? There's no reason to, so there's like the two aspects of also not missing out and not pretending to be busy when you're not, and also not playing games of like, sometimes I do that too because I'm like, but just if you're actually busy, then that's fine. But don't pretend to be busy just to not answer them right away and to not seem desperate or to not, I feel like that's just ridiculous.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I that the words that's the in that four-word sentence, there are three words that are bad: play, hard,
Mm-hmm.
get. Playing games is great, but it's
In
not real,
bed.
you know. In bed, amazing.
Yes.
I was thinking more on board games, but great.
Well, that's nice too, I
But
guess.
playing, it's not real life, so why would you play in real life? It's stupid. Hard, like everything in life is difficult enough as it is. You don't want to be adding obstacles to what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And get, I'm sorry, you are not an object. You are not a prize. You have worth. So you don't want
Yeah.
anyone to get you or have you, even though we may talk about this whole, oh, it's romantic to feel like he's mine and I'm his, or whatever. Playing hard to get is just, you're not a carnival game. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I mean, one of my previous relationships, I kind of fell into that of just not honoring what I was wanting from him and things like that. And so I wasn't texting him. That lasted over a year. It's like, when do you stop? When do you stop? And
Mm-hmm.
when do you switch? You
Yeah.
know, and with Justin Timberlake, I'm gonna
You're gonna go for it.
I
You're
am.
gonna go for it.
We were it kind of it just we fell into each other. I mean, that sounds very whatever. I'm gonna move on from that sentence. But we met and then we went on our first date. And then during that first date, he texted me saying, no, not during that first date, but he said, what are you doing tomorrow? When do you go to the gym? And I said, I usually go in the morning. He said, well, if you want to go at lunch tomorrow at lunch with me, I'd really love that. So we ended up going at lunch the next, like 12 hours later. And then
Mm-hmm.
he texted me in the afternoon saying, I had plans tonight. Do you want to see each other? And so I did have plans, but I kind of cut those plans short, saying, yeah, sure, I'll see you again.
Mm-hmm.
And so it kind of went really fast. And then I went away for a bit. And so we called each other a lot during that time. And that was fine. And I'm not saying you should be looking for that. I'm saying that felt right at the time. And so we did.
Mm-hmm.
And any coach would have told, any dating coach, well, a lot of dating coaches would have definitely said, don't pick up, don't see him so fast,
Mm-hmm.
don't seem so available, things like that. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was wanting and needing at that time. And it turns out that he was giving that and he was wanting it as well. And so it happened. And, many months later, we're still together and in love. And that's great.
That's amazing.
And if I hadn't done that, then we would just not be together today. It's just for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you want to just, if you want to write to him, then do it. And if he doesn't respond and if he's not on that type of energy, then he probably never will. You know, it
Yeah.
just, you may kind of lull him into a false sense of security of, oh, this girl, she's not so needy, or we're on the same wavelength and things like that. And then your needs are never being honored. And because we're women dating men, we assume that we're talking to women, but the same goes for men. If you want to write to her, or if you want to not write to her, then, but still be with her, then that's fine. You want to honor that and just make sure that your needs are being met, because you may be wanting to give more or give less and things like that. So playing hard to get is just, again, it's I think the idea, I hate that. Oh, I hate this. Oh, so
It's
much.
ridiculous.
You want to just see how you are, because if you're being anything else, if you're not doing what you need in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
it's a recipe for never getting what you want.
Exactly. And losing out
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
constantly missing out. And I feel like, look, I also hate the words that are used, and I'm going to use them anyway, just for the lack of better words at the moment. But like, I feel like you shouldn't play hard to get, you should
Be.
be hard to get. And what I mean by that is not to like play games at all. What I mean is don't pretend to have a full life and to be busy. Don't pretend that you can't go out. Don't pretend that you can't answer right away. Live your life. And that's the problem a lot of times with people that I see who are trying to just avoid being by themselves and are just desperate to find someone and just going on day after day after day after day. They're not taking the time to actually live their life and fill it up. When you, that's sort of like naturally being hard to get.
Yeah.
It's sort of nurturing your friendships and your family and your hobbies and your career and your passions and going on adventures and traveling and doing things with yourself and in your life that make you seem, not only make you seem to have it, you don't have to pretend to have a life, you actually have a life. And I find that that makes us more interesting to the other person, and that's more appealing. And that person also knows, okay, they have a life. They won't be relying solely on me to make them happy, to lift them up, to make them strong, to entertain them, to be there for them, because they already have a life. And I feel like I sort of get the point of, like, when you're dating someone and they're very easy or they don't have anything going on for them, that's kind of a turn off. But like, you don't
Amen.
have to play games. You just have to 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 focus. I feel like that's the best kind of thing that you can do is don't focus on just trying to be something for someone or pretending or playing games. It's just actually be that person. If that's who you want to be, then go out and do it and do things, and then it sort of naturally be just, you won't be willing to also just go for anyone, and you won't be as easy or just willing to settle for anyone you can get. You're going to be that hard to get person because you have a life and you're not going to give up your time just for anyone.
Amen. And I will add to
Mm-hmm.
that if you, yeah, for lack of a better word, are hard to get, even though there's, if you are a high quality person, yeah,
Yeah,
will only accept, people who will add value, which is great. And
yeah,
if you are playing hard to get, and if you are just kind of pretending things like that, first of all, people will see that. They won't see it as in, oh, she's playing a game, but they'll see it, there's something off with the whole
Yeah.
personality because you're not just being honest. And then the other thing is that you Michelle went through this. I feel like you went from being this very active woman, and then when your guy came into your life, you adapted to him, and so you just
Hmm.
carved out some time, and that was fine because you just, you made that available. But if you're forcing yourself into something that's not natural, then you're not going to be able to have the accurate, correct amount of time, and then you're just going to miss out.
Yeah.
Because why would, if you are not available when he's available and things like that, then you're just going to kind of miss these opportunities because if you are missing the opportunity because you are genuinely busy and genuinely have a life, then that's great. But if you are missing it
Yeah.
because you're pretending and then it turns out that something else and things like that, it's not going to feel as great.
Yeah. I was a pro at being busy and being constantly doing something. And to me, it was impossible. Like the thought of making time for someone was near impossible. And I feel like, first of all, I with the right person, you find the time. You find the time. You find the ways to put them into your schedule and to spend time with them. And you also sort of again, you're not willing to just make time for anyone, and with the right person you want to do that, and it's okay to do that, and you have to know when you want to and when you don't. So
Michal from the future here again. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe wherever you are, and let us know your thoughts on today's episode. Until the next time, bye bye.